Hey everybody, it's Ron with Ron's Computer Videos. How are you doing this evening? I wanted to take a second and share with you a little bit of a project that I was working on in honor of MARCHintosh. Yeah, confetti. The project was something I didn't think I was going to have to work on, but it ended up just being that way. Capacitors make fools of us all. So here's my situation. Hi, my name is Ron, and I own a lot of ImageWriter II printers. But there's one that stands out above the rest, and that is the last version of the ImageWriter II that Apple shipped, which is the ImageWriter II-L. So what's special about this version of the ImageWriter? Well, I mean, not a lot. It does have 24K buffer. The earlier models only had like an 8K buffer. So when you're in a situation when you're relying on the computer to process and send the print job, it probably makes sense to get it to the printer as quick as you can so you can free up cycles on the computer to do the whole computering thing, which is why you're there in the first place. The other thing it has, unlike the earlier models, is a switching power supply. Now, why does that matter? Well, it matters in that it reduces the weight of the printer by like 5 pounds. If you've ever had to lug an ImageWriter somewhere, you will appreciate that fact. Those older ones have a huge transformer that sits in the back corner, making it awkward and weird weight distribution. So I am sure that Apple did the math and they were like, we can upgrade the power supply and save a lot of money on shipping. That's just speculation. I don't really know anything. But what I do know is that I love that dang printer, and so when I powered it on for MARCHintosh to let people go ahead and send some print jobs, it printed exactly one time, and then made the famous fish market smell that everybody associates with bad capacitors. So that's the situation I was in. I needed to get the printer up and running as quick as possible so I could have some MARCHintosh fun, but now I needed to figure out what capacitors were needed. I looked around online and I didn't find a cap kit, I didn't find a teardown guide, I didn't find anything. This printer again came out at the end of the run for the ImageWriters, and I just think it got overlooked. So that's where I decided that somebody needed to step forward and do this work, and since I'm the one with the problem, it might as well be me. So what you've got up here is a recap guide for the ImageWriter II-L. And basically it lists all the capacitor locations, how many you're going to need, how many microfarads, voltages, blah, 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 how big the caps are. When you take yours apart, you could probably capture that information, but if you take it apart, maybe you only want to take it apart once and not have it laying sprawled across your desk for a week. That was my problem. So when I went to go put it back together, there were a lot of things where I was trying to rack my brain to remember, but I got it all back together pretty easily. There's only a few screws you need to take out, as you'll see here in just a few minutes. But this video doesn't really constitute like a how-to guide on like recapping it or assembling it or disassembling it or whatever. This is mostly just something fun you can put on in the background at work. I will go ahead and I will maybe update the Google Sheet, which there will be a link to the sheet in the description that will have some photos showing disassembly. Honestly, I just learned better from that. I like watching videos, don't get me wrong, but sometimes on something where it's like doing steps, it's just easier to be like flip through cards than it is to like try to scrub through a video. So anyway, that's really it. Let's get to it. that's basically it. The toughest thing that happened to me is just remembering in the week between taking it apart how to put it all back together. So what I didn't show you is the 3 or 4 times that I was putting the actual carriage and everything back in there, and I didn't have things aligned exactly right, and it's just because I'd forgotten to just line up things kind of a little bit better beforehand. So hopefully in the video that I'm going to put together here in a week or two that actually shows the full disassembly reassembly, I'll maybe give people some pointers on how not to fall in those same traps. But anyway, that's really it for the moment. I want to thank everybody for taking a few minutes and spending it here with me, and as I always say, Apple II forever.